Thank you, Mahesh, for having me. I would rather be on this side than this side. In my heart and soul, I'm on this side.
Yeah.
Actually, as Kenneth very nicely explained, this is the reality. Actually, I can only add a little more to what he was saying, taking the current state of the nation. Very thing that we miss out in this whole political dialogue, so to say, is this language and this kind of thinking. That is why, in fact, we say that this country needs this entrepreneurial state. You know, the thinking. In fact, it is the mindset of the state and the government. When you don't look at it from an entrepreneurial perspective, you can't ever expect anything to grow. It encompasses, when you say entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial state, it may be a bit ambiguous, but it in fact says that think differently, think creatively, think with the numbers, be realistic. You know, as he was saying, now we are talking of FDIs. I mean, it's no rocket science, and I mean, I'm still waiting for the minister to come.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, we haven't got a cent so far. We haven't signed a single agreement.
And yesterday, another one pulled out.
Yes. But if we are expecting anyone to come, then we are expecting quite a lot of idiots out there in the world. It doesn't work like that. Why would anyone come to Sri Lanka? And as Tanya was saying, when our own local entrepreneurs are suffering in big numbers, like 250,000 of them have gone out of business.
300,000.
Yeah, now maybe 300,000. So it's a massive number, right? And these are the job creators in the country. They in fact change the rhythm of the nation. They bring color to the nation. It's not just the rupees and cents. You know, that the dynamism of the nation. So we have basically killed all of that, and we are in the process of killing the rest also with this kind of mindset. And Bhanuka was saying that's the truth, right? Now, if we are to change that, it's maybe after the rest of the people can start contributing, we can get into that. But I can say as a preamble to this, what we need is this kind of thinking. As he was trying to say, that if you don't understand these three things, the P&L and the balance sheet, or P&L, balance sheet and the cash flows, and if we don't use this lingo in our day-to-day language, I mean, I am sorry to say, I am a parliamentarian, but it's sad to see that I can't see a single face when I sit on this side, when I'm looking at the government side, or anyone for that matter, whom I can have this chat with. I'm telling you with responsibility, and I don't try to look down upon anyone. But the thing is, if we don't get into this serious conversation and with this kind of logical, scientific, numerical, this kind of dialogue, we can talk rhetoric, we can talk anything, but we are not moving forward. In fact, we will moving backwards in an unexpected speed. So, Johnny, you have lot of hard work.
No. Nobody voted for me. Everybody voted for you. It's not.
No, I'm saying changing the mindset of the people.
Absolutely.
Keen follower of Derana, I always want to ask you this. I see this on your YouTube interviews. This inflation thing. What I learned in school and in the university. This inflation calculation. I just still don't understand how this thing works. Now see, in 2022, if you look at every essential item, including the electricity, water, fuel, so these have gone up by like 100%, 150%, gas, everything. And the essentials also, they have all gone up. And salaries technically have gone down. If by way of taxation, they have taken a large chunk of our consumable income. and they say that inflation is going down. It has gone down a bit. One day they say it gone down by another few points. And how do you? I mean, I'm not a, you know that I'm not a believer of economics. You know, I think it's. It's really not my trip, you know. I don't want to get into that. But whatever it is, it could be like some religion or something, let's say. However, now can you, like mythology, I would say. But Darna, can you please tell me, now see, I can't actually, in my own real world calculation, these people, quality of life or the standards should have technically come down by minimum 75%. If you put, the salaries have not gone up, taxes have gone up, as a result your income has shrunk. And all the other essentials, I'm not talking about this, you know, the other goods.
Not the luxuries.
Or other things.
The basic necessities.
How can you explain in your so-called economic terms, as like an economist, I would say, how do you explain this? Bhanuka, in fact, that is what I think the answer that we should give him. We have to be safeguarded. We as the entrepreneurs have to be safeguarded from this only.
Yes.
We are not saying safeguard us from any other thing. I understand. But philosophically speaking, technically speaking, we have to.
You have to.
So when he is asking this question, I mean, elaborate
So
what it means.
The question, what we need. So
what we have to say is whether it's possible or not is a different matter.
Yes.
Whether there is IMF,
Yes,
a different matter. Mahesh, it's like this. See, this is the shift that we would talk. I mean, as Kenneth was trying to say, and then let's be practical. We don't, no point talking about actually. Varna's answer is beautiful, and he comes out to be a very attractive analogy. But practically speaking, it's completely something different what is happening on ground. But the thing is, now the 75 or 76 years of curse of
77 now.
77 years of, no, 77 they can't say. 70. So whatever, see, in practical world, it's sunk cost. Forget the past. In our language, we don't even talk about it. You know, if I buy a company and someone has, mucked up the whole thing, and we don't want to talk about it because it doesn't give you any happiness to you, and you want to move forward. So if you have to move forward, you can learn from the past. So then you have to say, okay, this is the strategic shift that we are taking, and it has to be a massive shift. It can't be like a tinkering job. It has to. What is that shift? So if we are to move forward, if we have a growth trajectory and a growth plan, okay, we are taking this massive shift, which is different to the 76 years of whatever they have done. I don't propagate to, or I don't agree with that. The 76-year curse, it's a different discussion altogether. However, what is that shift? I mean, if you are saying, okay, we know that we are going to really take it to the next level, by doing what? What is the theory? What is the model? We can call it even the business model. What is it? So that's my question. In fact, the Chaturanga, I in fact didn't mean by any means to say that the parliamentarians on your side don't have brains.
You said
they have all are brainy people.
You said they don't know numbers. They don't know strategy. They don't know P&L. They don't know cash flow.
I said
you said that
in a context. I said in a context. See your father being a. I mean, I know him very well. That he is a very clever guy. For its relevant field, for sure.
Yeah.
But then, of course, maybe lots of people who are my friends, maybe in their own, yes, for sure. But this running.
You basically saying Anura Kumar Disandayaka doesn't understand numbers. Harsha Surya Peruma doesn't understand numbers. Anil Jayanta doesn't understand
I don't want to.
Is that what you're saying?
No,
I really want to understand because you're
yeah. For you to understand, I would put it this way. I would put it this way. I really don't want to. I don't want to put it in that manner. That is why I said I am not looking down upon them, because I consider them to be brilliant in their own respective fields. Example, Andhra Kumar, my old friend, I mean, he's a great politician. So we have to appreciate that. But if you are to run this government and you have taken a product which in your own definition, it's a already ruined product.
Yep.
So you are now going to take it to the next level.
Yep.
Right? I am saying in that context, if you don't understand the real world practical terms, I mean, if you are talking about today, I am going to say now example, sorry to say that, I mean, now that you asked me, when you take your policy document, which we put forward during the election, now you can see most of those things cannot be practically delivered.
Everything can be delivered.
Now, example I take that you are not delivering.
Tell me one.
Which is something very, very sensitive to the Sri Lankan people and to me also. Now, say you promised that all the kids in this country will get VAT exempted, VAT free educational goods.
Yeah.
Now you are saying you can't do it. Instead, you give 6,000 rupees to the underprivileged people. Now you are doing in your 76 years so-called curse. Even Jayaweera, who your great leaders and myself thought we were to kill that leader Jayaweera, even in his the project of free books, he said free books to all.
Yeah.
The rich or poor.
Sure.
Now you are telling someone in a classroom to bring a letter from Grama Sevaka saying that you can't afford, you are poor, give me 6,000 rupees. Now you make a major division in that kid's mind. That's a terrible thing. So I'm taking this as an example. You promised that you are going to take this VAT off, right? Had you had an understanding of a P&L, as we say, there is no top line and you can't spend. If you are going to say, okay, I'm going to take this off, I am going to add this from the top. So that is why I'm saying, I'm taking this simple example. You are saying everything is possible. If everything is possible, we should be able to see it happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen because at the time you promised, I don't know, I mean, with great respect to whoever who has contributed to that book, I see lots of contradictions. And I see it I'm not from like a narrow political perspective to say, these guys didn't know. I'm saying it has no logic. It has no philosophy. So when you don't have that, so I am forced to think. Why you say so? You are saying, now example, the interest-free loans, the
collateral-free loans.
The collateral-free loans. I mean, it doesn't exist in the world.
It exists in every country.
I mean, if you are...
That's not true. It exists in every country.
No, wait, let me see it.
No.
Collateral-free...
Can you do it practically?
Yeah, collateral-free, I know what Bhanuka is going to say. Collateral-free does not necessarily mean it's free like handouts.
No,
it doesn't work like that. So if you are trying to say that, okay, collateral free, it's let's say you can take some example. I know that you're going to take this example. We can take these examples, but why we can't do it here? I will come to that if you really have time. But forget that. What I'm trying to say, forget collateral free. So these entrepreneurs went and asked. Now you have given us a moratorium, and we have gone and given our assets.
The banks.
Banks.
Yeah,
of course.
not the government.
Who the
banks.
Banks are all the government. We are all part of the
No.
Government is responsible for all of us. I mean, the bank.
That's why I said
banks are. You can't say. You can't say banks. Let's say then take the government
That's why
bank.
I said when the central bank was made independent, did we fight like this?
Of course, I fought.
course, yes.
I fought. We all fought.
We all-
It's not just you
really
and
fought
you
it.
three people who voted against. There were many people who voted
Can't you
against.
reverse it if you want now?
Huh?
The two-thirds can't you reverse it?
Yeah, we can reverse
Now
that.
they
Yeah.
have the mandate to
You have the
reverse.
mandate.
Criticize.
Now
You
we
have
can have
you
the
are not
mandate.
2/3. You are 100%.
Yeah, now
With
we
our
can
support.
reverse.
Yeah. So
Chaturanga.
let's do that
Chaturanga,
and then move forward.
next session that we
Because
can
no point
bring in.
criticizing and doing the
So
same
no.
thing.
Chaturanga, let's not actually his 50th program.
No, this
No,
is
he's having fun.
Why do you think I'm keeping
So
quiet?
Chaturanga, I like to think, I don't want to get into this conventional political conversation, which I don't like. But what I try to say, Chaturanga, we all like to see this country doing well.
Yeah.
It is not for, in my case, of course, I don't belong to that because I don't want to be in politics in that sense. But what I try to say, Chaturanga, we are there to help you. We are there to help your government. We even if you are to come to power one day, there has to be a prosperous country. As he said that he has
So,
gone
yeah,
up to
that's why,
call, we want to go to Kataragama. At the end of the day, our viewers also should be able to take something out of this discussion. Let me just ask you this question, all of you. Now, these are a lot of questions. As you can see, or a viewer might get completely confused, and it is obviously not, I think, Johnny's intention. So, where does the answer lie? Where does the answer lie? With my little bit of academic knowledge and background, and more of practical knowledge, I think what we lack here is that grand strategy, the grand plan, what is the central idea within which that we are going to sort of address these issues. So if you take one by one, Tanya has an issue, my good friend Darnath has many issues, Bhanuka has like more global, international tech issues, Kenneth also will have, Sujeev has some simpler issues which probably could be solved very
The
easily.
elections. Coming up elections.
Minister, I really appreciate, honestly, I must say that, you try hard. But the point is, see, any country, any organization or a family even, if you don't have a central strategy, you can, one thing you have a strategy, second thing, that everyone has to know that there is a strategy, this is a strategy. Then every one of us should know that we are on strategy. Then every one of us should have, okay, there are like timelines, deadlines, we are meeting them, we are happy. Otherwise, we are one big bunch of unhappy people.
Ideas every day.
They are talking problems. See, honestly, Chaturanga, sometimes when these people invite me for so-called TV debates, I say I don't want to participate because I don't want to talk about problems. I want to talk about a solution.
So, Mr. Dilith, you basically asked that question. And please, if anybody has...
Yes, I have.
No, I'm just, let me just stay in
I have the solution. to the
two
central
lines
bank
to
issue.
say, if you look at the rest of the world, and we take many examples, Bhanuka, now you see the so-called developed world and you see that development countries with policy, with the policy consistency and so on. Now, what do they have which we don't have?
Policy.
Policies.
No,
They have
actually,
independence.
no,
They have independence.
no, actually, Chaturanga, I think it's for us to think deep. I think they all possess a grand strategy. These nations possess a grand strategy.
Is it the bureaucracy in those countries?
No, bureaucracy or otherwise.
They are very strong.
If you have a grand strategy, the things fall in line, then you can get things aligned. Here, when you don't have a grand strategy for you to compare with your so-called economic theories, I'm not being, I'm being nice. So you got to, okay, you have to compare that. Or
Progress. What is the
with what do you compare? I mean, we are saying Chaturanga and this government is doing jack shit. They are not doing well. They are useless. Against what? Right? There is no plan to compare that with. Had we had a plan, okay, this nation agrees that our growth trajectory, growth plan is on this strategy. Whether we agree or not, it's a political thing maybe. Then more people agree, less people don't agree. We call it democracy. Here we have nothing. Now, Chaturanga, it's this food for thought because I am, as I always say, I am there to support this government wherever possible. Now, we have to think. And the last thing that I want to say, at the end of the day, your basically stakeholders ranging from all these people up to the farmer, 22 million people have to be convinced that there is something happening. And that conviction will drive a motivated nation. I like this discussion, of course, but again I must say that I am coming back to this strategy business because I just don't understand without a strategy a way forward. It has to be a grand national strategy, and my friend Chaturanga, with 100% good heart, I want to tell you, today's, if you look at, as Bhanuka said, communication, national narrative is nowhere close to any growth trajectory or a direction. You are today talking about, if you take the consumption of their voice, media voice, as a percentage, 90% negative content, and they I'm sorry to say that in a communications point of view. I'm not saying it is in fact, yeah. I'm saying if you are to align people, none of this can happen even if you get your interest-free whatever, you got to work with your workforce, and if they are in a negative mindset, you can't, even if the hospitality industry or whatever. See, national narrative has to be shifted to a positive note from these discussions of now see, I know that, this is in fact what I was going to say in the parliament before I got a bit disturbed. However, what I was going to say, it come to power, you adopt various tactics. Brands do that, to put the product on the shelf. Once the product comes to the shelf, to push the product from the shelf, you adopt a different strategy. And you communicate that. Here what I say is, yes, I mean, India is the best example. I remember when Modi's campaign, which was very similar to their campaign, they came on this completely the corruption narrative. People thought that Rahul was going to be in jail, mother was going to be in jail for that, whatever the products, I mean the construction that they did or whatever. But they immediately moved out of that and came to like a national narrative changed. Here we are talking about, apprehending people, putting them in jail, and we are now going behind so and so. I mean, we got to do all that. I think if you give less focus in terms of national media consumption and the narrative, people will be discussing these topics. Today, even in the parliament, even in any political dialogue that you see on mainstream channels, you see these discussions. When are you going to put so and so in jail? When are you going to catch hold of this person? When are you going to, we are now very quick to do all that, but not discuss this. Derana, I am being very, very honest. I don't want you to fall genuinely, because I think you got 5 years and we got to support the way we can. Then only we can take, if at all, we will definitely take. It's a different matter. Then we take the baton and then run. I mean, you know,
also want to retire.
so what I say is, my final thing that I want to say now that Banuk has to be released immediately, I want to say,
like Dilith.
I think you are. අර අනිත් තාමතුරන්ට බෙදන්න කියනවා වගේ. ඇති ඒවද
I understand the pain. I would say. So what I want to say is that, you know, we need our stakeholders to be on a positive platform and mindset. So let's all get together for that.
Parliamentarian.
And must get together and help them.